Adam!
Fun side. Mom's okay.
James! James!
Center Street.
Tonight, we look at most disturbing camping encounters. Catch on camera, real moments, real dangers. Don't forget to subscribe for more terrifying footage like this. Let's begin. Years ago, the U.S. Bureau of Land Management released a public safety campaign titled Stay Out and Stay Alive, a clear warning about the hidden dangers of exploring abandoned mines. The message included everything from unstable tunnels and deadly drop-offs to leftover explosives and toxic gases. But among the facts and cautionary advice was one chilling, real-life case, supported by recovered footage, an incident that nearly ended in tragedy. The accident occurred on July 4, 1998, when a group of young men stumbled across an abandoned mine in the Nevada desert. Despite knowing the risks, they chose to explore it, filming as they went. Ironically, even in the early moments of the video, some of them acknowledged how reckless their decision was, yet they continued anyway.
As you see Briz pointing out, stay alive. It's a good point, but we're not too smart, so we're gonna go anyway.
This is an unsafe mine. Danger.
At first, the exploration seemed casual. The boys wandered through the entrance, joking about the posted warning signs. The deeper they went, the more the environment began to change. Decaying wooden beams, fallen rocks, and sketchy bridges became more frequent. They passed collapsed areas and even commented on the evidence of previous cave-ins, but ignored the danger.
If you look at all this, there's lots of rocks and stuff that have fallen from the ceiling, which indicates that it's probably not a good idea to be walking this way. And,
well, they've already fallen, so they're not gonna fall again.
well, there's more to fall still.
As they advanced deeper into the tunnel system, signs of disorientation emerged. They questioned where certain paths led and noticed markings painted on the rocks, arrows, X's, and symbols they couldn't interpret. It was becoming harder to track where they'd come from, and easy to imagine how someone could get lost in the maze of shafts and passageways.
Yeah, we gotta remember where we're... Okay, we got out here.
Who painted these X's and stuff? Grant.
What do they mean?
Dead ends and stuff.
Okay, they're all got an X on them.
We can go this way.
That one's got an X, but it's also got that. What does the diamond mean?
Where's that go?
It goes down.
A long way.
Ooh, that's not a little.
Well, it'd be kind of hard if you slipped and fell. You could catch yourself before you actually fell down there.
Not if panic set in and you scream like a little girl.
Got some pipes. Oh, wow. We have to climb that?
Yeah, don't everybody get up. I got it. You're gonna be the lucky one to fall.
This is going to America's Funniest when somebody falls.
That's a good idea. Alrighty. Oh, that's the cable. Don't touch that.
Up the rope.
Then they found a rope, worn, frayed, and hanging from a beam above a deep shaft. Without hesitation, one of them, Adam, volunteered to climb down using it.
This is down to the main shaft.
Wow, so we're climbing down this rope.
Yeah. How far down?
How are we getting out of it?
Climbing up it.
I see.
No one in the group had proper climbing experience. No harnesses, no backup lines, just one deteriorating rope. As the others filmed, Adam began to descend. But only seconds into his climb, the rope gave way.
All the way down to that ladder. See where it's laying down?
Where the am I,
Like a good 30 feet.
where the am I gonna hook this
I'll go
camera?
first.
I'll go first.
About 600 feet. You don't like where to go. Put it like he's doing it into your mouth. Is it off now?
No, it's not.
How am I gonna get this thing down there? Yeah, but how am I gonna get back up?
Not
I don't have a
Take good. Give you my belt strap on.
Adam! Oh,
Adam!
oh,
Adam!
yes.
Adam!
Oh, God. Oh, God, somebody help.
Adam!
He plummeted nearly 65 feet into the darkness below. The sound of panic filled the tunnel. Shouts, scrambling, and confusion. When they finally reached him, Adam was unconscious, but alive. His fall hadn't been immediately fatal, which was nothing short of a miracle. His friends were able to locate an exit and contact emergency services. Rescue crews eventually reached Adam after hours of navigating the mine system. He survived, with broken bones and deep bruises, but alive. This wasn't an urban legend or a dramatized reenactment. It was real. The recovered footage, used later in a public service announcement, highlighted just how dangerous abandoned mines can be. The group was lucky. Had Adam hit the shaft wall on the way down, or had the rope failed for the last person during descent, the entire group could have been stranded with no way out, and no way to call for help. Death by starvation or injury was a very real possibility. Why do people ignore warnings, even when danger is clearly marked? Is it the thrill, the desire to film something daring, or the illusion that it won't happen to me? In this case, they made it out. But not every group does. Let us know what you think in the comments. Hold on a sec. If you're enjoying this so far, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Let's continue. On their channel Action Adventure Twins, brothers James and Edward have spent years documenting their exploration of tight, dangerous caves. But in early 2022, one of their expeditions nearly turned into a tragedy. In January of that year, the two set out to explore Petty John's Cave in Georgia, a location they had visited before. Familiar with its complex passages and hidden features, including an underground waterfall they discovered in a previous trip, the brothers were confident in their ability to navigate it. But this time, their goal was more ambitious, to tackle one of the cave's most difficult sections, ominously named Nervous Breakdown, a title that speaks for itself among the caving community.
Whoa, entrance room.
The adventure began like many of their others, squeezing through narrow passageways and moving deeper into the system. After about 25 minutes of crawling through tight tunnels, they reached a muddy room with a narrow vertical pit in the center. Carefully edging around the hole, they knew one slip could lead to injury, or worse, a fall into a space too dangerous for rescue. Once past that obstacle, they reached the entrance to Nervous Breakdown. But there was a problem. The path ahead had partially collapsed, making it hard to identify the correct way forward. Eventually, Edward believed he had found it and began descending, while James stayed back as a safety precaution. This would prove to be a critical mistake. A few minutes into his descent, Edward called out to James, only to be met with silence.
I found a rope. I don't hear James anymore. Uh-oh.
Somehow the two had become separated in the maze. With no signal and no visibility between them, Edward was now alone in an unfamiliar part of the cave. He tried to stay calm and pressed forward, hoping to reconnect. But after over 30 minutes with no sign of his brother, the fear set in. Every passage looked identical.
James! James! It's been like 30 minutes since I last saw him. I don't even know where I'm at. I tried to go back to the last place I saw him, and everything just looks the same. It's just a jumbo maze. The tape, yeah. Okay, this tape looks familiar.
The walls twisted and narrowed, turning the cave into a disorienting maze. One wrong turn could lead to a drop, or a space too tight to escape. This is the terrifying reality of caving. Even if you're uninjured, isolation and confusion can be just as deadly. Edward began to retrace his steps, hoping to find the right route back. But the further he went, the more uncertain he became, until finally, a small piece of red tape caught his eye.
The tape, yeah. Okay, this tape looks familiar. Oh yeah. This has got to be the way. I'm getting close. James! Still nothing.
Using the marker to regain his bearings, he pressed on. Soon, he heard the voice he had been hoping for.
James! Oh! You're over here? Oh! Dude. This place is a maze, man.
Oh, hey, I see your light.
Dude. I thought we were never gonna see each other. Dude, I know. Oh.
After following the sound of his brother's voice and eventually spotting a flashlight beam in the distance, the two were finally reunited. Relieved, they stuck together for the rest of the expedition and made it out safely. This experience is a stark reminder of how even experienced explorers can find themselves in real danger underground. Familiarity with a location doesn't guarantee safety, and the psychological effects of isolation and disorientation are just as hazardous as any fall or injury. Would you have kept moving forward in Edward's place, or stayed put and waited? And do you think caving solo or splitting up even briefly is ever worth the risk? On October 28, 2004, 50-year-old Australian pilot and technical diver David John Shaw made history by reaching a depth of 270 meters inside South Africa's infamous Bushman's Hole, one of the deepest freshwater sinkholes on Earth. It was a feat achieved by only a few in the world, but the purpose of this dive wasn't only to break a world record. What David found at the bottom of that shaft would soon change everything. There, at the edge of the silt-covered floor, was the body of Dion Dreyer, a 20-year-old diver who had vanished 10 years earlier during a dive in the same cave. His body had remained trapped due to the intense depth, making recovery impossible until now. Shocked by the discovery, David tied a line to the body and ascended, carrying with him not just footage, but a promise.
It wasn't very steep, and when I saw the body over to my left, I thought, oh, that's the end of going deep. So just tied my line to it, and by then I was, well, we won't discuss that, and so I just left my line.
After informing Dion's parents, David made the decision to return and bring him home. The recovery dive was scheduled for January 8, 2005, and involved meticulous planning. Cave diving at that depth isn't just dangerous, it's borderline suicidal without flawless execution. The plan was precise. David would follow the line he'd tied on his earlier dive, bag the body, and begin the long ascent. At around 220 meters, his friend and support diver Don Shirley would meet him and take over the recovery. From there, a chain of divers would assist in transporting the body safely to the surface. But the dive didn't go to plan. Roughly 90 minutes in, surface crews received an alarming update. No signs of movement from either David or Don. Then, a message came through. Don had spotted David in the water, but he wasn't moving.
Don's
okay.
Dave's not
In an attempt to reach him, Don exceeded his planned depth. The result was catastrophic. His rebreather unit failed. He began vomiting from oxygen toxicity and nearly passed out. By sheer instinct, he held onto the guideline and was pulled to safety. David was not so lucky. When rescue teams later recovered David's body, they found Dion's remains still attached to the line. Despite the outcome, David had succeeded, just not the way he intended. Helmet camera footage later revealed what had gone wrong. The body, once trapped in silt, had come loose and began floating freely. In trying to bag it, David became entangled in the recovery line. His light got caught, his arms tangled, and his instruments were neglected as he struggled to manage the chaos.
This line is just getting everywhere because this body is floating. It's not stuck. Everything's moving. Right. Light gets caught on the line there. Move it out of the way. Still got a nice bright light.
Under intense nitrogen narcosis, akin to intoxication under pressure, his coordination and judgment began to fail. He fought to cut himself free, but the lack of oxygen, movement, and control was too much. In his final moments, he found himself face to face with Dion's lifeless mask before darkness took over. David Shaw was among the most skilled divers alive. But even elite training can't always outmatch the variables introduced by depth, pressure, and equipment failure. The dive was planned down to the second, but fluid dynamics, body movement, and silt disturbance can't always be predicted. The fact that Dion's body became buoyant again after a decade underwater may have been caused by changes in gas buildup or sediment shift, a factor no one accounted for. Don's brush with death only added to the tragedy. That both men nearly died, but only one returned, is a haunting reminder of just how hostile the deep truly is. David Shaw succeeded in his mission, but at the cost of his own life. The footage recovered from his helmet became not just a record of a heroic act, but also a devastating chronicle of one man's final moments beneath 270 meters of water. It raises a painful question. Was it worth it? Was closure for a grieving family worth the ultimate price? Let us know in the comments. Shaver Lake, California is known for its scenic trails, crisp alpine waters, and dense forests. But for one local man, what began as a quiet day outdoors took a bizarre turn, one that might add a compelling piece to the ever-growing Bigfoot mystery. While hiking near the water's edge, he stumbled upon something odd in the soft soil. A series of massive footprints, far larger than anything a human could make. The impressions were human-like in shape, but far too wide and long to be mistaken for a boot print or hoax. He didn't have a tape measure, but their size left an impression. Still, he carried on with his day, brushing off the find as curious but not worth dwelling on. That is, until something strange appeared in one of his photos. Later that day, while fishing near the same shoreline, he paused to take a few casual pictures of the lake and surrounding trees. It wasn't until he reviewed the photos that something chilling stood out. In the background of one image, just beyond the tree line, partially obscured by leaves, was a figure. Dark, upright, humanoid. At first glance, it could be mistaken for a shadow or trick of the light, but upon closer inspection, photo analysts noted something strange. The figure seemed to have a cone-shaped head, long limbs, and was covered in black hair, details that began to resemble descriptions commonly attributed to Bigfoot encounters. Even more curious, a smaller form could be seen clinging to the chest or shoulder area of the larger creature. It didn't appear to be part of the foliage, and its position suggested movement, or even a protective posture. Some believe this may have been a juvenile, held or carried much like how gorillas or orangutans transport their young. After adjusting the contrast and enhancing the image, new details came to light. The creature's silhouette revealed a slender but tall frame, standing vertically with an unusual posture. Its natural coloring blended effortlessly into the background, which may explain why it wasn't seen at first. Experts in image analysis stopped short of calling it definitive, but several agreed. The figure does not match any known primate native to North America. If the smaller form is indeed a young offspring, it would suggest social behavior and family units, a detail that aligns with recurring but anecdotal Bigfoot sightings reported across North America. Could this photo be genuine evidence of a Bigfoot family in the wild? Or is it simply a trick of light, shadow, and expectation? Whatever the case, this encounter adds another layer to the mystery, suggesting that if these creatures do exist, they might not be wandering alone. Let us know what you see in the photo. Is it real, misinterpreted, or something in between? And don't forget to like and subscribe for more disturbing encounters caught on camera. On May 19, 2025, a man hiking alone near the New Jersey River captured something on camera that may be one of the clearest recent sightings of a creature long dismissed as myth. He wasn't out looking for trouble, just enjoying nature, completely alone, when something in the trees caught his eye.
Fuck. Holy shit. Center screen. Let me try to get a better view. It's right there behind the tree.
A figure, still, watching. From the moment he noticed it, his tone changed. Startled, he pulled out his phone and began filming. The video, though shaky and zoomed from a distance, captured a dark, humanoid figure partially concealed behind a tree. At first, it didn't move. Then, almost as if realizing it had been spotted, the figure suddenly took off, darting uphill with surprising speed. As the man tried to follow it with his camera, it became clear this wasn't just a person in dark clothing. It was larger, taller than an average human, and more solid in build. Though partially obscured by brush and distance, the footage offered a fleeting, full-body glimpse. Broad shoulders, long limbs, and a powerful stride as it climbed the slope and disappeared into the forest. The man later stated that he hikes these trails regularly and has never seen anything remotely similar. Whatever it was, it left him deeply unsettled and convinced that what he saw wasn't human. New Jersey might not be the first place people associate with Bigfoot, but the state's dense woodlands and remote pockets from the Pine Barrens to the Appalachian foothills, have long been tied to mysterious sightings. Back in the 1970s, reports began to surface in Sussex County of a tall, hairy creature roaming near Stokes State Forest. Residents described howls, tree knocks, and massive footprints. Even in the Pine Barrens, better known for the Jersey Devil, there have been multiple sightings of Bigfoot-like figures, tall and bipedal, walking deep within the forest. In Wharton State Forest, hikers in the 1980s reported seeing a quiet figure standing motionless, watching them from the trees before slowly vanishing back into the brush, eerily similar to this recent sighting. So what exactly did this hiker capture in May of 2025? Was it a hoax? A misidentified animal? Or is it something more? Could New Jersey's deep woods be hiding something we were never meant to find? Let us know what you think. Was this just a random encounter with an animal, or the latest chapter in an unfolding mystery? And if stories like this keep you watching, remember to like and subscribe for more unexplained encounters caught on camera. This next part is a little different from what we usually cover. Instead of a real cryptid encounter caught on camera, we're going to examine something artificial, but fascinating. Recently, a couple of highly realistic AI-generated Bigfoot videos have been making the rounds. And while they're not real, they raise a bigger question. Can you still tell the difference anymore? Let's take a closer look, not just to admire the visuals, but to talk about the subtle signs that separate reality from fabrication. Both videos come from TikTok creator Havoc Theory, who's been experimenting with AI-generated cryptid imagery. And the results are impressive. The first clip is a close-up of Bigfoot's face, rendered in stunning detail. You can see wrinkled skin, coarse facial texture, and matted hair, all of it blending a very human-like structure with something more primal. If Bigfoot exists, this is probably how many would imagine it. The second video takes a different angle. A Yeti-style creature with white fur, pale skin, and eyes that stand out starkly against a snowy backdrop. It feels like something that would appear in the middle of a Himalayan blizzard. While both clips are 100% AI made, they're convincing, and that's what makes them worth discussing. So how can you tell these aren't real? There are subtle but revealing signs. Facial expressions often lack micro movements. Blinks may look too perfect or robotic. Hand and limb movement can be off, either too stiff or too fluid, like a digital puppet. When these figures turn or walk, their interaction with the environment feels wrong. Arms may swing unnaturally, shadows may fall inconsistently, or their gaze may fail to track properly. AI-generated footage tends to be technically perfect, but emotionally flat. It misses the organic flaws of real life, and that's often the biggest giveaway. Still, these clips are a fascinating look at where the future of storytelling and deception might be headed. As AI continues to improve, how long before we can no longer tell real from fake? Will the next viral Bigfoot sighting be the real thing, or just another masterpiece from a machine? Let us know in the comments which version of Bigfoot you liked more, and whether you think AI-generated cryptids will help uncover the truth, or only bury it deeper. This next video hasn't gone viral yet, but make no mistake, it might be one of the most unsettling paranormal clips posted in recent years. Not because of what you see, but because of how the person behind the camera reacts. The footage was uploaded by a TikTok user known as Certifiageo, who claimed he had found an abandoned farmhouse and decided to take a look inside. What he saw after leaving the building is what truly matters. According to Geo, he had already explored the interior of the farmhouse and was back outside when he noticed something strange.
Yo, what the f*** is that? What the f*** is that? What the f*** is that?
The clip begins with him pointing a flashlight toward one of the upper windows. He zooms in, and that's when it happens. A dark, humanoid shape shifts behind the glass. It doesn't have any visible features. It's not lit. It's just a moving shadow, unmistakably shaped like a person, pacing behind the window, in a house that was supposed to be empty. Gio's voice shifts from casual to terrified in an instant. You can hear him panicking, repeatedly asking what he's seeing. The video lasts just 13 seconds before he stops recording and leaves. There's not much background on the house itself. It appears to be an isolated, aging farmhouse, sitting alone in the middle of nowhere, exactly the kind of place where strange things are often reported. Some paranormal researchers believe that intense emotional energy, grief, violence, or trauma can leave behind a kind of residual imprint, manifesting in visual phenomena like this one. That's why abandoned buildings often become hotspots for unexplained activity. What makes this case even more strange is that this was the only video the user ever posted. No follow-up, no ghost hunting series, no attempts to capitalize on the attention. If it were fake, you'd expect him to post more. But he vanished just as quickly as the figure in that window. So what did Gio actually capture? Was it a trick of light? A person hiding in the house all along? Or did he come face to face with something that never left? Whatever it was, it only appeared after he thought he was safe, after he walked out the door. Let us know what you think in the comments. And if this gave you chills, remember to like and subscribe, because not every haunting leaves you a second chance to record it. This next video didn't come from a hiker, tourist, or ghost hunter. It was captured by a municipal street camera in a quiet town in Brazil and discovered by local authorities while reviewing routine surveillance footage. The date was March 8, 2025. There were no storms, no reported power outages, just a calm night, until something truly strange appeared. At first, everything in the footage looks normal. Then, out of nowhere, a glowing blue-white light fades into view. It moves slowly, almost like it's gliding with purpose, not drifting or flying randomly. There are no flashes, no sound, no visible source, just a silent, luminous shape moving across the frame. As the seconds pass, the light continues its path, before slowly fading into nothing, as if it had never been there at all. But if you look closely, you might spot something even more bizarre. As the glow moves away, its lower half seems to change. It no longer floats. It appears to walk. The shape stretches and shifts in a way that resembles legs moving, not wings or a flight pattern. Some people rush to explain it through science, suggesting ball lightning, a rare atmospheric phenomenon where glowing spheres appear during electrical storms. But there's a problem. The weather that night was completely still. No thunder, no clouds, no rain. And this wasn't a sphere. It was a tall, shifting shape. Others offered a more extreme theory, that what we're seeing might not be light at all, but a portal. In fringe science and paranormal circles, there's long been speculation about natural or artificial gateways, openings in space-time that link other dimensions or points in the universe, like wormholes, or something even more advanced. Some believe that creatures like Bigfoot, ghosts, or even aliens don't travel through space, but instead pass through these dimensional cracks. Brief, unstable moments where reality overlaps, and something crosses through. So what exactly did this street camera capture? A weather glitch? A strange energy anomaly? Or was it something moving between worlds, caught by accident on a quiet street in Brazil? Whatever it was, even the local authorities couldn't explain it. And sometimes, that silence is the scariest part of all. Let us know what you think in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more real and unexplained encounters caught on camera. That's all for tonight's video. Which encounter gave you chills? Let us know in the comments below. Got your own experience? We want to hear it. And whatever you do, don't miss what's coming next.